A bill to overturn CFPB overdraft fee rule would hurt families, allow big banks to keep $5 billion in excessive fees. Today, House Financial Service Committee Chairman French Hill, Republican from Arkansas, and Senate Banking Committee Chairman Tim Scott, Republican of South Carolina, moved to repeal a measure limiting excessive junk fees imposed by big banks on people already short of funds. French and Scott introduced Congressional Review Act, CRA, resolution to overturn the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's overdraft fee rules. The rule caps most big banks' overdraft fees at just $5, down from the typical $35 charge per transaction. The rule would save the 23 million households who would pay overdraft fees $5 billion a year. A decision to overturn it would cost these households an average of $225 each per year. Republican leadership is siding with Wells Fargo and other big banks over working families hurt by abusive overdraft fees practices that are huge junk fee profit centers, said Lauren Saunders, Associate Director of the National Consumer Law Center. People should let their legislators know that they need Congress to help them deal with high costs and inflation, not rich banks get richer at their expense. Banks take billions of dollars a year from the families that can least afford it, but they don't need to charge these fees at all. Capital One, Citibank, and Ally have completely eliminated overdraft fees while continuing to cover overdrafts. Wells Fargo and JP Morgan Chase, however, remain the biggest offenders, each taking about $1 billion a year in overdraft fees and non-sufficient funds fees.
Yes, they said the industry reported a total of $1.5 billion in overdraft-related services charges income in the fourth quarter. It was down actually 12.4% from the linked quarter when banks brought in $1.77 billion in overdraft-related income. Check this out, folks. They took $1.55 billion from people that didn't have money. They took that money from you. You didn't have it in the first place. And they're like, well, we're going to charge you for not. I remember I used to have Bank of America. I had to drop them because Bank of America, I don't know if they still have this rule, but you have to have so much money in your bank account. And if you don't, they charge you a fee.
Yep.
The bank I bank with, I'm not going to say who I bank with, but I like them because even if I go to like an ATM somewhere and they charge me $6, my bank covers that fee. That's a real bank. And then if I have an overdraft, they have overdraft protection. And then if I do have an overdraft, they have overdraft forgiveness. You just call and say, hey, can you get rid of that? And the bank's like, yeah, we'll take it off. It's cool. As long as you put the money back in there.
I mean, because at the end of the day, they're making money hand over fist. Banks can take your money on LIBOR. It's like, it's just different things. They take your money and they can go and lend out 10 times your money. This is what this is all about. So for them doing what they're doing is not helpful. I mean, yeah, all they're really doing is padding their bottom lines and helping out their stockholders. This is it. I mean, it's not like they're helping out the common man, taking $225 away from the people who can least afford it. There should be bigger rules. And I mean, if they can limit it to $5, that's great. That's not this. I mean, it's not nearly as much as $35 per transaction. That's a lot, man. I mean, so at the end of the day, man, these type of things right here tell me why Republicans are not for the people. You may have gotten the people's vote, but they were bamboozled and they don't even really realize it. Most of those people are the people that call themselves the forgotten man. You're not the forgotten man. You forgot yourself. You chose the life that you chose. I mean, the hatred that you hold and harbor, it's on you. Like you tell everybody else, pick themselves up by their bootstrap. Well, get rid of her if you don't love him. Get rid of him if you don't care about him. I mean, that's a part of your life. You need to care about. I mean, worry about what you can change and deal with that. But at the end of the day, these type of fees right here on people are just onerous, and it should be illegal. From my perspective.
I mean, they'll do it until the people get tired of taking it. And I mean, they're going to have more fees now because we're run by rich folks, and they're going to push you to the limits. They've already pushed you to the limits, and you're seeing it now. People are like, "Why are they coming?" Like they got a thing where they're. I was watching the other day, or actually today, where they're proposing like taking these people's land to run electrical wires. You know what I'm saying? Acres and acres. Like I think it's like 75 miles or something like that of just straight land from
eminent domain. They'll take it.
Yeah, they're gonna. And the people are like, they're like, "Yo, why are you doing to this? Why are you doing this to us?" The little girl got up there. She asked the politician a question, and she was like, or she asked the guy a question. She's like, you answered like a politician because you didn't answer my question. You just danced around it. And you know what I'm saying? And the people in the comments were like, "Yo, I didn't see y'all having this much anger for the Keystone Pipeline." You know what I'm saying? This is what you asked for. People don't realize they've taken so much from the black community that they can't take any more from us. They're taking so much from the Mexican American community that they can't take any more from us. They have to take it from you. But they keep pointing, oh, it's not us. It's that black guy over there. You ever notice how, like, I don't know if you ever see this. When you go to click on an article and it's supposed to piss you off, they put a black person on there. Has nothing to do with it. Remember I showed you the one where they're like, oh, that one senator, excuse me, was missing and they found her, or the politician, and she was in an old folks home.
Out of Texas. She's from Texas.
But for some reason, who was in the picture? 2 black people. It wasn't even her. You know, it's just too, I mean, they do it anyway. So
they've been doing this for years, man. This has been going on for a very long time. They did it with the whole Willie Horton. Every time they want to put a face on something and make it negative, they do that. I mean, it's something I know people who live outside this country, they've talked about. They're like, hey, before we come here, they'll show us stuff about crime and everything. And every time you see the people committing the crimes, who you think it is?
Shoot, man, I remember I worked over at Martha and Mary in Paulsbo, Washington. And I was over there and they were showing this video about, you know, AIDS and HIV, you know what I'm saying? And everybody in the video was, it was 2 black people and a gay Mexican dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at like, oh, this is the propaganda you want to put. Like, just these people are the ones catching AIDS, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And like the black lady was in there all crazy. She was like, yeah, my husband gave it to me and said, well, I had to give it to somebody else. And then the Mexican dude was like super gay, like flamboyant. So, I mean, it's just crazy how they use propaganda like that against us.
No, absolutely.
And then I got this